Allis-Chalmers WC. Ladies and gentlemen, if you lived through the 1930s, you will remember that challenging period, the Great Depression. At that time, American farmers needed more than ever a simple, powerful, and reliable work tool. It was in 1933 that Allis-Chalmers came up with the answer, the Allis-Chalmers WC. During its 15-year production run, from 1933 to 1948, more than 178,000 WCs rolled off the assembly line in West Allis, Wisconsin. With its affordable price and easy-to-operate design, the WC quickly spread throughout the farm states, from Ohio to Iowa, from Kansas to Georgia. Each one was a testament to the American spirit, hard work, trust in machinery, and a commitment to the land. It was more than just a tractor, it was a companion for every season. Equipped with a 4-cylinder, 201 cu engine, equivalent to about 3.3 liters. This engine block produced about 22 horsepower at the drive shaft and 25 to 30 horsepower at the belt shaft. Powerful enough to pull a plow, operate a mill, pump water, or thresh without fear of overloading. With a 4-speed transmission, the WC allowed the driver to choose the speed appropriate to the job, from heavy pulling on wet soil to moving gently between rows of crops. The WC did not have the modern hydraulic system of today's tractors. However, many versions after 1940 were improved with simple mechanical or hydraulic lifts for raising and lowering plowing equipment or spreading manure efficiently. Instead of the modern PTO shaft, the WC used a belt shaft PTO, a versatile option for operating stationary machines, from saws, feed grinders, to barn ventilation fans. The WC was about 124 inches long, 80 inches wide, and weighed between 2,700 and nearly 3,800 pounds, perfect for steady, maneuverable operation on small plots. The 17-gallon fuel tank was enough for a full day of work without refueling, a big deal in a time when gas stations weren't on every corner. One of the first tractors to come standard with rubber tires, the WC offered a much smoother ride than its steel-tired predecessors. This not only improved traction, but also helped protect the driver's spine. Anyone who has ever driven on steel tires knows this better than anyone. Today, the Allis-Chalmers WC is no longer seen in the field, but is carefully preserved by collectors and vintage tractor enthusiasts. At agricultural fairs, exhibitions, and museums, the WC is displayed as a piece of the American spirit, something that helped the country overcome the Depression and enter a period of prosperity. As for collectible value, a well-restored WC can sell for $6,000 to $8,000. Unrestored, or original, models often sell for $1,500 to $3,000, depending on condition. But as many of you know, sometimes the real value is not in the number, but in the memory and pride. If you are looking for an icon of American agricultural history, the WC is the most American and most reliable tractor history has ever produced. John Deere Model B. Ladies and gentlemen, if you were around during the 1930s or 40s, the name John Deere Model B is probably familiar. First introduced in 1935, this tractor was John Deere's answer to small and medium-sized farmers who needed an efficient, durable machine that didn't cost too much. It was more compact than its big brother, the Model A, but still had enough power to pull 2 plows, plant corn, soybeans, or weed, all with just one driver. From 1935 to 1952, more than 300,000 John Deere Model BS rolled off the factory floor in Waterloo, Iowa, making it one of the company's most successful tractors.
Hitch works.
The Model B was powered by a 149 cu 2-cylinder, water-cooled engine. Although it only had 11 to 12 horsepower at the shaft and 16 horsepower at the belt, the high torque at low RPM meant it could pull a plow or operate a mill or thresher all day long. Equipped with a 4-speed gearbox, it allowed the operator to easily select the appropriate speed for each job, from slow weeding to fast movement between rows. The simplicity of the construction made the gearbox reliable, less prone to breakdowns, and easy to repair. On later Model B models, after 1946, John Deere integrated an open center hydraulic system with a pressure of about 750 psi. This allowed the operation of lifting equipment such as manure spreaders or plows, increasing farming efficiency without the need for additional support. The Model B had a belt PTO, ideal for operating stationary equipment such as water pumps, barn ventilators, or grinders. This allowed farmers to use one tractor to handle a variety of tasks around the farm. The machine was approximately 120.5 inches long, 85 inches wide, 56 inches high at the steering wheel, and weighed nearly 3,300 pounds. It was the ideal size for small farms, allowing it to work well in tight spaces but still be sturdy enough to work all season long. With a 12-gallon fuel tank, the machine could run from morning to evening without stopping to refuel, especially useful when working in areas far from home. The Model B used 22 by 3.25 front and 48 by 5.25 rear wheels, suitable for a variety of row crops. Rubber tires provided traction and reduced vibration, making it much smoother than the early steel wheel tractors. Today, the John Deere Model B is not as prevalent in the fields as it once was, but the distinctive pop-pop-pop of its two-cylinder engine still resonates at farm festivals, vintage tractor fairs, and in the hearts of those who lived with it. Depending on the condition and year, Model BS can cost anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 for an unrestored model, and as much as $7,000 to $8,000 for a fully restored one. But for many, its value is not in the price tag, it's in the memories and the trust. If you're looking for a tractor to remember your years in the field, or simply to preserve a piece of history, the John Deere Model B is the most reliable American tractor of all time. Farmall M. Ladies and gentlemen, back in the late 1930s, as America was recovering from the Great Depression and preparing to enter World War II, an agricultural icon was born, the Farmall M. First introduced in 1939 by International Harvester, one of the names most associated with modern agriculture in our country. During its production period from 1939 to 1952, more than 270,000 Farmall M's were built. They were everywhere, in cornfields in Illinois, rice paddies in Arkansas, and dairy farms in Pennsylvania. The Farmall M was unpretentious, but always there when the land needed plowing, when the harvest needed harvesting, and when the farmer needed a true companion. The Farmall M used a 4-cylinder, 247.7 cu water-cooled engine that produced 33 horsepower at the drive shaft and 36 horsepower at the belt shaft. Impressive figures for the time. It was powerful enough to pull a 3-blade plow, operate a thresher or feed mill all day without overloading. The 5-speed sliding transmission allowed flexible operation, from deep plowing of heavy soil to moving gently between rows of crops. The transmission was designed to be durable and withstand harsh working conditions, from muddy springs to dry fall. With the lift-all hydraulic lift, the Farmall M could control the lifting and lowering of equipment such as plows, manure spreaders, or planters without human power. This was a major step forward, reducing the burden of labor and increasing farming productivity. Equipped with a belt-type PTO, the Farmall M can operate stationary equipment such as grinders, circular saws, and water pumps, a big plus for farms that don't use electric machines. The M is about 133 inches long, 84 inches wide, and 78 inches tall from the ground to the steering wheel. It weighs nearly 4,900 pounds unladen, and can reach 6,700 pounds when fully loaded, giving it solid traction without the need for counterweights. With a 21-gallon fuel tank, plus an additional 1 gallon for the auxiliary tank, the M can work all day without refueling, especially important for farms far from service centers. The narrow front wheel design, the adjustable rear wheel width from 52 to 88 inches, allows the M to handle a wide range of roads and terrain conditions. Standard rubber tires provide a smooth ride and reduce wear on the field. The Farmall M is more than just a tractor, it's a living memory of an era. Hundreds of thousands of farmers rode it through the war, built the post-war economy, and made America an agricultural powerhouse. Many Farmall MS are still running today, a testament to the quality of American manufacturing. At vintage tractor shows, veteran farmer groups, and even parades, the Farmall M is always welcomed as an honored guest. The market value of a Farmall M depends on its condition. A fully restored version can fetch up to $6,000 to $8,000. Unrestored examples typically sell for $1,500 to $3,000, or even less if they need repairs. If you had to choose a tractor that represents the American farmer's faith, the Farmall M is the obvious choice. Ford NAA. The year 1953 not only marked the 50th anniversary of the Ford Motor Company, but also marked a turning point in the agricultural machinery industry with the introduction of the Ford NAA tractor, affectionately known as the Golden Jubilee. The Ford NAA was introduced to replace the famous 8N, but it was not just an upgrade, it was a huge step forward. In 2 short years, from 1953 to 1954, more than 128,000 Ford NAAs were produced. They appeared throughout the Corn Belt, the Appalachians, and the West, where the sweat of the farmers mixed with the plowing of the NAA, creating crops and prosperity. The Ford NAA was equipped with a 134 cu in, water-cooled, 4-cylinder engine. With 20 to 26 horsepower at the pulley and over 31 horsepower at the belt, it is powerful enough to handle most everyday tasks, pulling a plow, operating a feed mill, or weeding between rows of soybeans. With a 4-speed transmission, the operator can flexibly choose the right speed, from plowing deep into wet clay to spreading fertilizer on dry fields. The design is simple but effective, helping farmers operate gently, without worrying about stuck gears like older models. This is the highlight. Ford NAA owns a live hydraulic system directly driven by the engine, allowing the equipment to be raised and lowered even when the machine is stationary or the clutch is cut. With a pressure of 2,000 psi and a flow of nearly 5 gallons/minute, it operates strongly, stably, significantly reducing manual labor. NAA uses a belt-driven PTO shaft, compatible with threshers, water pumps, grinders, and many stationary equipment. That was a plus for multi-purpose farms, where each machine had to do a lot of different things. 118.5 inches long, 64.6 inches wide, and about 57 inches high at the steering wheel. The Ford NAA weighed between 2,550 and more than 2,800 pounds, strong enough to keep equipment steady while towing, but compact enough to maneuver in tight rows. With an 11-gallon fuel tank, the machine could work from morning to evening without stopping for gas. In a time when every second counted in the fields, that meant a lot. 5.50 to 16 front tires, 10 to 28 rears, were suitable for most ground conditions of the day. The suspension was stiff, but rubber tires dampened vibrations, making for a smoother ride than the old steel tires. The Ford NAA was more than just a tractor. It symbolizes a time when America entered a new era, stronger, more mechanized, but still retaining the practical and loyal spirit of the farmer. Today, well-restored NAAs can fetch between $6,000 and $8,000. Original, restored examples typically sell for $1,500 to $3,000, a worthy investment for anyone who appreciates America's agricultural heritage. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ford NAA epitomizes the spirit of the American tractor, simple, durable, and always ready to serve. It's not a loud or flashy machine, it's a quiet companion that has helped millions of Americans feed their families and feed their country. If you're looking for a symbol of trust, the NAA is the most reliable tractor America has ever built.
Put some fences up, put the cows over here.
Oliver 1850. In the 1960s, as American agriculture expanded and demanded more powerful machines, Oliver Farm Equipment Company came up with a solution, the Oliver 1850. Introduced in 1964, the 1850 was a worthy upgrade to the previous Oliver 1800 model. It quickly became one of the best-selling machines in the 50 series, and an integral part of the development of mechanized agriculture in the post-war period. During its production period from 1964 to 1969, nearly 67,000 Oliver 1850s were produced. From Iowa to Ohio, from cornfields to ranches, this machine was not just a work tool, but a friend who was always ready when the harvest season approached. The Oliver 1850 comes with 3 engine options. All are smooth-running 6-cylinder engines that rev at 2,400 RPM, delivering up to 92 horsepower from the PTO. That's enough power to pull a 3-blade plow, operate a manure spreader, thresher, or baler, without tiring out even after a full day's work. The Oliver 1850 comes with a variety of options. A basic 6-speed transmission, a semi-automatic 12-speed hydropower transmission, and even a modern 18-speed hydraulic shift. These transmissions offer a flexible torque and speed adjustment, suitable for every type of work, from light weeding to heavy hauling in clay. With 2,500 psi of pressure and up to 15.9 gallons per minute of pump flow, the 1850's open-type hydraulic system reliably operates a wide range of trailers and trailing implements, from 3-point tractors to farm cranes. Both power and responsiveness give the operator confidence every time. An independent PTO with 2 speed options, 540 and 1000 RPM, allows the machine to operate a variety of stationary and mobile equipment. This feature makes the Oliver 1850 a power center for the entire farm. Measuring over 13 feet long, 7 feet wide, and weighing in at 8,965 to 10,965 pounds, it's large enough to stay stable when working with large equipment, yet maneuverable enough to move around the farm without having to widen the track. With a 31.5-gallon diesel, 34.5-gallon gasoline, or 42-gallon LP gas tank, the Oliver 1850 can work all morning and into the late afternoon without refueling. That's something every farmer will appreciate, especially during the busy harvest season. The 7.50 to 15 front and April 18th, 34 rear tires provide excellent traction, whether working on dry land, wet land, or gentle hills. The sturdy suspension system provides a smooth ride, even when pulling heavy loads all day long. Today, many Oliver 1850s are still running well on family farms, even after more than 50 years. The vintage tractor collector community considers them a valuable model due to their limited production, easy-to-maintain mechanical design, and trusted brand. Today, a fully restored Oliver 1850 can sell for between $6,000 and $10,000, while an unrestored version typically sells for between $2,000 and $5,000. But the real value is in the history, not just the money. If you've ever driven an Oliver, you probably know, it's not just a tractor, it's a true companion. And for me, the Oliver 1850 is the most reliable American tractor of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just reviewed 5 legendary machines, tractors that not only helped American farmers plow the land, but also plowed deep into our country's history. Each one is a testament to the value of simplicity, durability, and reliability, qualities that we cherished and still cherish today. If you have ever operated, repaired, or simply watched one of these machines in the field, you probably know this is not just a machine, but a part of a living memory. If this video brings back old feelings for you, please click the like button. Please subscribe to the channel so we can continue to share authentic, valuable agricultural stories. And if you have ever driven or owned one of the above machines, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. We would love to hear your stories. Thank you for joining us. See you in the next videos, where we preserve the American tractor heritage.